Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the broadcast. This is Thursday, March 1st, 2018. Thank you very much for being here with me for another edition of the broadcast. I'm going to be doing more again, more of what I've done. I'll be getting into some listener comments and questions, and I'll also be getting into some news stories and whatnot for you here tonight on the broadcast as per usual. And I'll do my best to answer some of these questions and whatnot. I really like getting questions from the audience and stuff. But I'm not always the biggest expert on everything that there is, but I do my best. So hopefully you get something out of what I have to offer. I mean, a lot of these topics I do know a lot about, but sometimes I don't know everything about everything. And one of those questions I got here tonight, I don't really know everything about this, but I know some, so I'll give you what I know and tell you what I think, and hopefully that'll help. But I do appreciate all the questions. If you want to send questions in for me to talk about or something on the show, it's globalrealityshow@gmail.com is my email address, globalrealityshow@gmail.com. So I'll be getting into all that, discussing a whole bunch of stuff here with you on the show tonight. We are now, folks, we're at that time again. We're at the fucking panic, red alert fucking time again here. We have to have a minimum of $800 in here for our operating costs by tomorrow afternoon, no later than 5 o'clock. All that would really take, though, is if we had 8 people. I know, and I mean, with the amount of listeners we have, if there are 8 people, all we need is, it's nothing. That is fucking nothing, ladies and gentlemen, to keep my work and my whole thing that I've built here for over 10 years from going under. It's not a lot of money. So we got to have, without fail, minimum, we have to have $800 in here tomorrow. We don't have any more leeway past that. Sometimes you get an extra day or whatever, but we don't have any extra time here. We're out of time. We have to have this by tomorrow minimum. And then we'll still have a couple $100 left over. After that, we'll have to raise, through the weekend or whatever. But we have to have a minimum of $800 in here in the next 24 hours. So we got to have everybody contributing anything and everything they can. Everybody that contributes $100, we'll get their name in the special thanks credits of Spellcasters Volume 2. You can just pick a name, or you don't have to pick a name. You don't have to have anything in there if you don't want. But if you do contribute the $100 and you want to get your name in the special thanks credits, you just have to email me your whatever name you want in there or whatnot. Also, get any 3 downloads you want from the download shop. And instead of what we do usually with the grand prize for the month, everybody that contributes $100 is going to get their name. You'll get 1 entry per $100. So if you donate $200, you'll get 2 entries, three entries, $300, 3 entries, $400, whatever. And that's how we're going to start doing it a month to month for the grand prize at the end of the month. So for every $100 that you contribute, you'll get 1 entry, your name and 1 entry in the hat. I'll draw a name out of the hat, then that'll be our winner. And I'll put the prize up on Facebook and whatnot when I can. Right now, I'm just trying to get this in here. The needle has not moved at all since the last broadcast. I've been telling you for the past week that we needed to reach our goal. The needle still hasn't moved. So now's the time, folks. We're out of time. We don't have any time left. If you can't contribute $100, contribute what you can. If you can contribute more than $100, if you can contribute $400, $500, do that. But, I mean, I can't, I can't have this needle not move again or have us reach our goal by tomorrow, because we've had too many months in a row where we've been late and we haven't had it. So this month we actually absolutely have to have that by tomorrow. As I've told you, this is, I'm just now, and I'm still not fully recovered, but I'm doing better. Thus why I've been able to perform and do so many shows, in the in between times between, pain and stuff. But I've come a long way. I still got ways to go, but I'm I fought hard to make it back here, and I've just been glad that I've been able to do anything and get some Spellcasters 2 work done and get some shows work done. It's been great because I was literally ordered to not do anything for a while because of stress and to be honest with you, that this is the biggest stress part of the month, and it's just the worst to work and work and work and work, and that's I know that's what was causing my stress. I know that's what caused my all this stuff from the Bell's palsy, all on top of, as I've mentioned, electronic frequency attacks. Somebody asked me last night if I've ever been. Has the Church of Scientology ever tried to silence or threaten you like they have others? Have I not fucking talked about that ad nauseum? I know, and I'm sorry, man. I hate to come down on people, but I've seen this person comment on other videos before where I specifically talked about that. Have you not been listening over the past few months? I know you have because I've seen you. That's another thing that pisses me off. A lot of people won't even listen. I've had this happen so many times. I've had so many fucking people who they'll comment on a fucking show, right? Hey, I'm not kidding you. I've seen this happen 20 times. This is fucking hilarious. Hey, what do you think about this? They'll comment on a fucking show. I'm not kidding you. They will comment on a fucking show and say, hey, what do you think about this topic? What do you think about this? And literally the show that they commented on, I just went over that subject thoroughly. So that's going to show people just don't fucking listen, man. I've been talking about all the stuff that I've dealt with and all the things that never happened before until I started working on the Spellcasters film. I mean, the Spellcasters 1 was the worst. I've told you about the electronic harassment. I've told you about the frequency weapons that have been deployed against me. There's tons of stuff that's happened I won't even talk about. And the reason I'm not going to sit there and beat this stuff into the fucking ground and talk about it incessantly is because I'm not going to give these motherfuckers the time of day. I know some people love to get up here and cry and bitch and moan about, about how victimized they are by whoever. But I'm not going to give in to these bastards, and I'm not going to give them any more fucking time than they need. I'm going to get up here and talk about the stuff that exposes them. I'm not going to get up here and talk about whatever bullshit they've done to me and let the chill factor. It pisses me off because there's so many people that just love the fear sauce and they've been listening to Alex Jones and all these assholes for too long. They love the fucking fear sauce, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to peddle that shit. I've told you 100 fucking times how I discovered, especially it was a place I lived before where I live now when I was doing Spellcasters 1. I told you specifically about how I discovered that the Church of Scientology's main fucking place here in the suburbs of Dallas, right when all this stuff was going on, I discovered that the Department of Defense has offices right next to, literally in the same area, in the same fucking vicinity, right next to the Church of Scientology area here in Dallas and Irving, Texas. And how specifically I found out doing some research that specific Department of Defense office is one that specializes in electronic surveillance, electronic harassment, and all of that stuff. So yeah, I've had that, but I'm not going to get up here. Yes, I believe that much of my health stuff. I've talked about my health stuff. I've been sick. I started being sick at the end of November. I talked all through that time in every show that I did about where this stuff was coming from. And yet I get another question last night of that question. Yeah, I've talked about it a million times, dude. But I'm not going to get up here and fucking because I already told you, I know for a fact they listen to my broadcast, they monitor my broadcast, they have for years. And that's what they want. They want nothing more than me to get up here and talk about how they fucked with me. Fuck them. I'm not going to give them the fucking time of day on that shit. I've told you what I've gone through, what I've fought through to do this. And how it's increased since I've been doing the Spellcasters Volume 2. They don't want this film to come out. They want any and every way, anything they can do. But hell, they don't even have to do anything. I mean, honestly, because a lot of you out there that don't contribute, help them by your inaction. It just blows my mind. People want to sit around and ask me, "Hey, what's the Church of Scientology ever done to you? Hey, how have you been fucked with and messed with?" I'd rather sit up here and talk about how I've been fucked with and messed with, and how every single month I almost go under because of the inaction of people who are so-called supporters and listeners. That's who's done the most damage, more than any of these other fucks. I've had to deal with more problems because of people who just want to take. They want everything for free. They don't want to buy documentary films I spend thousands of dollars to make and hundreds of hours, thousands of hours to make. So if you want to know who's really causing the problems, that's where the problems are coming from. Because I'm not going to fucking sell dick pills. I'm not going to sell fucking Jew gold. I'm not going to fucking sell any of that horse shit. When I started this network in December of 2009, that was what I said I was going to do. When I started my own platform, I said I was not going to sell sponsors and all that stuff. It was going to be 100% up to the listeners to keep this thing going. And the amount that we need every month to keep it going is minuscule. When you look at the amount of money that has been put in to counteracting my work and trying to keep me suppressed at every turn. So it just pisses me off. You know, you want to sit there and talk about, you want me to focus on the fear sauce shit. Because some people get off on that. People do. I mean, I swear to God, I'm not kidding you. There are people there. I know for a fact that there are people out there that anytime me or anybody else talks about fear mongering stuff, they're over there. They're fucking beating their shit to it. Because some people beat their shit to fucking fear sauce. I'm not going to fucking do it, man. I've never gotten up here and fear mongered anything. And I never will. But I will tell you the fucking straight truth on shit when I see that it's necessary to do that, and that's what I always do. I always give it to you straight. But again, as I've said, if you're still thinking fucking Alex Jones is legitimate, you're listening to the wrong broadcast. You don't think maybe he could be legitimate? Fuck you, dude. That's an insult to me and all the work I've done over the past 10 years, and you obviously haven't been paying attention. You probably haven't bought my films and seen all the information in there anyway. Otherwise, if you had, you wouldn't be asking that question. I talked about that recently, too. Oh, I'm such a big fan, man. I've listened to all your stuff. How come you don't talk about this, and this? How come you don't talk about this? And then fucking it's right there in the movies. No, it's right there. I have discussed it. But they're such a big fan that they don't bother to fucking spend $10 on a download. And then they want to ask me and make posts and make it seem like, you know, to other people that maybe haven't seen the movies or whatever, that I'm suppressing these topics. When really, you know, just because it's not on YouTube and just because I don't talk about it in the show doesn't mean it's not in these films. I mean, it just fucking pisses me off. Oh man. Okay. I'm done with that. I'm not I got to keep my fucking I can't get angry at this, so I got to keep my blood pressure level down and stuff. But I'm telling you, man, that's, people always ask me that shit. They want to know, they want dirty details. Man, I've been fucked with so many times. And I've talked about it ad nauseum all the different times through the years on the show. Go back and listen to older shows. You'll hear me talking about this stuff. I'm not going to rehash all that stuff again. I'm not going to go down the greatest hits of how many times and what ways I've been fucked with for doing this shit, okay? I'm not going to do it. It's like gossipy, chatty Cathy stuff to me when people want to fucking hear that, because that's all, that's all they're doing. It's like they just want it because it's like gossip to them. Okay, so yeah, I don't really know a lot about this subject. I'll give you everything I know. I don't really know everything. It's no, it just like I talked about in previous shows. As with a lot of these subjects and with a lot of this stuff, it becomes, when there's not a lot of information about something as far as like, official documented information, where people start getting into the realm of speculation, and that's when you start getting into that realm. Oftentimes you don't know, have people who don't know how to, have healthy speculation. So immediately that speculation starts going towards fear sauce. Now, some of that stuff sometimes is warranted and sometimes it's not. So I don't know a lot about this subject because not really anybody, I think, at this point knows a lot about it other than what's out there. But again, there's a lot of speculation. Christine says, oh yeah, I did get a lot of comments on that last night. It's just hilarious. I just do shit sometimes and I don't even think about it. And then people are like, oh, fuck, it was so funny when you did this, this, or this. I'm like, oh, really? I don't even remember that. Okay, yeah, I remember that now. People were just fucking laughing because of my fucking Tupac rhymes last night. You like that shit, huh? You want some more of that shit? Let me think of one. Oh, what? This one that's fucking always cracks me up. Oh yeah, I remember. I think I said this one once before on the show because we had a news story about it a year or two ago. It was I'm not a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. Yeah, that's that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know why that just seemed to crack people up. Christine says, could you please talk about 5G technology and what the effects will be, not health impacts? I mean, I don't know. But the telemedicine, I don't know that. I don't know anything about that. The emergency bill they attach to it, allowing them to turn TVs, phones, smart devices, even if they're powered off for emergency. They already have that. That's already been here. That came in under Obama. That's already been here. That was, yeah, the emergency. Yeah, that's already been here. That came in with the, remember when they switched over the analog television signal broadcasting over to digital? That all happened then. That's already here. And that doesn't have anything to do with 5G. That shit's already here. AI, ARG, 3.0 chips being installed on these devices, TV white space, etc. I think there is something to do with the 5G network and space-based weapons. I don't know about that. Well, maybe. I'll get to that in a minute. Including possibility for frequency manipulation on a mass scale. They're already doing that. They've been doing that for decades. It's already been proven that HAARP can do that across long distances. I talked about Arecibo being another ionospheric heater. I talked about that one last night. They're deploying the small cell antennas already in Montgomery County, Maryland, and it's being tested in Virginia. I have linked to the Spectrum meeting on C-SPAN and concerned citizens at City. Yeah, I heard about that. People don't want these towers in their neighborhoods and stuff. That's because the technology has been largely untested. I mean, I know you said not the health impacts, but I mean, I can't mention this stuff without mentioning the health impacts because they have not done any tests on this 5G technology yet to even determine what it is. But they don't even know what the health effects will be, but apparently they believe there will be some, and people are already getting up in arms about it. Again, this is one of those subjects where I've seen a lot of speculation and a lot of what I would consider fear-mongering on the subject, but not a lot of fucking straight facts. But I'll give you what I know on it. I mean, I can remember 10, 12 years ago, 15 years, whatever it was, when Bluetooth technology first started coming out. Everybody was talking about that and saying that was alien technology and it was going to be used for mind control and all this. I mean, again, there's so much of this stuff that is based in fact, but then it's mixed with speculation and fear-mongering and the rest of it. So it's very hard to determine what's true and what isn't. I'll just tell you what I do know. I do know that, and again, there's no guarantee what I'm going to tell you is going to be anything you don't already know. So, I don't have information or access to information that the rest of people in the world don't have. I may be able I believe I have a better ability. I'm a better researcher than some people, and I have ability to grow and research and find things better than some people do, but I don't have access to some, hidden treasure trove of information or something. I'm not a fucking insider. But all this stuff they've been rolling out over the past several years with all the smart TVs and the, what do they call this stuff? Like the Alexas and all that. I will never own one of those motherfuckers. Fuck all that shit. Letting some fucking thing that listens to you 24/7 or records all your conversations, letting that shit control your lights. And call me old school, but I still just like to go over to the wall and turn the fucking light switch on. I mean, I'm good with that. That doesn't require any extra effort for me. Taking remote control and pushing on the TV doesn't require any extra effort from me. I don't need a fucking AI assistant to do that shit. Sorry, I just don't. I don't need an AI assistant to pull up music for me to listen to. I don't even use fucking the assistants they put on the phones, Siri and all that. I don't even use that shit. It's turned off. If I want to listen to a fucking song by a band or a record or something, I'll put a record on, or I'll put some MP3s on, whatever. It doesn't require but a few seconds to do that. I don't need a fucking virtual assistant to do that. But that's what they've been rolling out with all this stuff. People for years have been talking about the grid and the Matrix and fucking Skynet and all that shit. And a lot of people seem to believe that this 5G network stuff is, everything you read seems to point in that direction. But that's what I think that's what a lot of the speculation, the fear mongering going around now is that 5G is the new grid. It's the new Matrix. It's going to connect all these devices together. They're looking to turn it all over to AI by the middle of the next decade. And basically all these, they want everything connected. Smart meters, your cable box, wireless devices, personal assistants, all that shit. And so I guess the fear mongering and all that is that, and this is hilarious. I mean, I've talked about these. We've had massive AI systems that have been running things at least since 9/11. That's the rumor, is that 9/11 was the first event and the first thing they pulled off because they were using, I mean, you've seen war games. They had that shit back in the 80s, man. They had massive supercomputer systems even back then that were running algorithms and running war game scenarios and running stuff. I mean, they've had supercomputers for 20, 30 years that basically can track across human movements and predict trends and things like that way ahead of time. That stuff's been here for a long, long time. But for some reason, a lot of people seem to think that this 5G stuff is going to be, the end of the world. And maybe it is and maybe it isn't. The main thing about it is, again, this person said, oh, don't talk about the health effects or whatever. Well, I mean, to me, at this point, that's the only thing you should really worry about. I mean, again, these things are using the same frequencies as stuff like those, what do they call them, active denial systems, which are like crowd control weapons, sonic weapons, stuff like that. But I guess apparently the thinking is that when the 5G network comes online and all the devices become connected, that basically that's what they're going to use to snuff out humanity. Again, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. There's been so much of this stuff. Everything. I mean, there's people I remember when the internet was first coming online, people were saying the internet was going to wipe people out. I mean, again, there's so much of this stuff, and I can't really determine for you whether or not it's going to be a threat or not. I think that we already have seen the ill effects from cell phones, the electromagnetic pollution, all of this stuff from that. And if you've got something that works on those same frequencies but requires more juice, well, of course it's going to have negative effects. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing out of all of this is that people think AI is something that's coming. People still think that that's some present and future thing, and it's not. It's been around for many years. Governments have been using this stuff. Hell, Walmart has been using supercomputers bigger than what the government has for many years. The government had to go to Walmart and use their supercomputers. That's what they use to track and do their inventory. Walmart's had that for over a decade, maybe longer, 20 years, maybe. Where they used to have people go in and do inventory manually, and it's all, everything. Every time somebody buys something, that automatically goes into their main big supercomputer. And that sends, an order out to their distribution hub, and that orders something to be put on a truck and sent to the store. They've had that for years. But I mean, if you want me to say that I think 5G and all this stuff is going to be the end of the fucking world, I just can't do that at this point, because I don't see that it's going to be that necessarily the end of the world. Not at this point. If something changes, I'll tell you. But I can't get up here at this point and do like, I'm not going to name names, but I know there are certain other hosts out. I know why this person's asking this. They think I don't know who this certain person is that talks about these subjects, and I do. There are a lot of people out there who are very slick and sneaky with their fear-mongering, where they do it in a way to where if you're not, I'm not saying this about the person that asked the question. I'm just saying some people are not savvy and intelligent enough in general to be able to know when subtle fear-mongering is being used on them. And that's what a lot of these guys do. It's not the overt fear-mongering that you get from Jones or other people. It's a much more subtle fear-mongering. But, again, I don't think we have enough data at this point right now to make a, declaration that 5G is going to be the end of the fucking world, and that when AI systems come online in combination with that in the middle of the next decade, that this is when total enslavement's going to start. I'm just not going to get up here at this point and say that. Doesn't mean there might not be some truth to it. But, again, this is the same shit I heard people talking about when the Bluetooth stuff was coming out. People were saying, oh, Bluetooth it's going to connect everything together. So then, supercomputers are going to be able to, anybody will be able to control your devices or control this, And look, how much of that have we seen that's come true really from Bluetooth? Really nothing at all. So I think it's one of those things that, once it's, you're not going to be able to beat this stuff. You're not going to be able to stop it. They're going to bring this shit in no matter what. So the only thing you can do is wait for it to be here. And then at that point, once we have more information, then we can decide whether it's a threat or not. But bottom line, ultimately, is no matter how much information you might have in the negative on it, it ain't going to fucking keep people from still using the technology. It's just like I talked about last night with the whole non-participation thing and how you validate everything that they do for them, no matter how bad it is, by participating in it. I for years swore up and down I was never going to have a cell phone. I didn't even have a cell phone until a few years ago. Never had one. Never had one at all. Not one single cell phone did I have until a couple of years ago, when it just got to the point where I was literally the only person that I knew that did not have a phone, and everybody thought I was fucking completely nuts. But I held off and for as long as I could. But I couldn't get up here and incessantly talk about all the negative things I know about cell phones, from the radiation and cancer causing stuff and tracking and tracing, and basically it's like having a low jack on you at all times. But I willfully have, like everybody else has, gone along with that, even though we know the negative things of it, because that's where they get you. You got to be able to communicate this, that, and the other. So that's kind of the way I feel about the 5G thing. It really, does it matter? Does it matter how bad it is or what's? Because, unless everybody just says, fuck this, I'm not going to use this shit, I'm not going to be a part of this, which will be a very tiny amount of people that will actually do, no matter how bad it is. So it really doesn't matter. Yes, the 5G stuff could be as bad as people think it is, and maybe it's not as bad as people think it is. But regardless of that, it's not going to matter as long as people continue to willfully use it and allow themselves to believe that the benefits, text messaging, having a phone, calling people, having the internet anywhere, until people truly believe that the negatives outweigh the positives. You could tell people that fucking, it's kind of like the old, Dennis Leary joke about cigarettes. They just make a fucking a black pack with fucking skull and crossbones on it and call them tumors. People be lined up around the fucking block to get them. I can't wait to get my hands on these fucking things. I bet you get tumors as soon as you line up. Same thing with the fucking, you could tell people that it would cause, them to incessantly shit themselves all day long, and it would cause a fucking, a horn to grow out of their fucking brain and hideous fucking genital warts or whatever else. People go, well, I can deal with that. I gotta have my fucking text messaging, man. I gotta be able to play fucking Angry Birds or whatever. I gotta be able to be a douchebag at concerts and stand up in the front and hold my iPad up and video the whole thing. I can deal with the fucking warts and the brain horn and the fucking shitting myself. Fuck it. Gotta have my phone. You know what I mean? I mean, literally, it doesn't matter how bad the technology is. It matters whether or not people are going to eventually decide that enough is enough. And again, that can be applied to a variety of these subjects and topics. The same thing as I talked about with the voting. It doesn't matter that everybody knows and is known for years that election rigging has been going on for decades. The CIA has been rigging elections throughout the world for almost 100 years. Back to the 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, they've overthrown democratically elected leaders and made it look like, coups by citizens and whatnot. People know about the fraudulent and the rigged voting machines. They know all about that stuff. And yet, no matter how much information they have on the rigged election systems, how it's all a fraud, it doesn't matter. People still go to that fucking ballot box and vote because they still believe in the illusion of freedom. And as long as the illusion is stronger than the facts, it doesn't matter. That's the bottom line. So it doesn't matter how much we speculate and talk about this 5G thing. Again, it's all going to come down to whether or not people finally choose non-compliance. That's the only way anything's ever going to change, and it's the only way that these people are ever going to say, okay, look, we're not going to do that. Because, again, if people just all decided in the next election that they're not going to participate, and you had 70% of Americans say, fuck this, we know it's all a fraud, we're not going to vote this year, you would see the system collapse and crumble overnight. But do you really think there's going to come a day, no matter how bad, even if everybody knew beyond any shadow of a doubt that this 5G stuff was going to be linked into the networks, into the grid, and that literally, when they turned it on, we would become enslaved to machines? Do you really think that would stop people from lining up around the fucking block to get the iPhone 13 when it comes out? Or the Android 50 phone, whatever? Fuck no. There are a lot of people that just want to have the new toy and the new device before anybody else, and they don't give a fuck if it causes them to shit themselves, have tumors, and give them cancer every time they text their grandma. They don't give a fuck. Every time you send a text message with this phone, a starving child in Africa gets its head blown off with a 12-gauge shotgun. Well, I'm sorry, but fuck, I got to order a pizza. So that's the real reality of it. Don't get caught up in all this, That's why I've said this before, that's why there are no, I used to love listening to different shows. I used to love listening to different researchers and different people, and God, there's fucking nobody. People ask me that all the time. Hey, besides yourself, who would you suggest I listen to? Fucking nobody, man. There's fucking nobody I would say, yes, this is a reliable source of information. Yes, go listen. There's not. I wish there fucking was. But pretty much everybody out there uses this information to either justify their own agendas or to use fear-mongering in order to justify selling their fucking phony products. Hey, buy this special case from us here at Information Connection, where we give you all the truth on conspiracies, but buy this fucking $50 box from us and it'll keep you from shitting yourself and growing a brain horn from using 5G technology. It's whatever they can do. And that, again, that's another game that I've refused to play. So there you go. I mean, I'm sorry. I know that probably does. None of the stuff I said probably helps you, but as far as what you want to know, as far as this 5G stuff, but it really does. Again, it just, the bottom line is, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad it is. I mean, do you really think that beating people over the head with how bad something is going to keep it from being used and put in place? I mean, dude, alcohol. Alcohol's the fucking worst thing you can put in your body. Everybody knows, everything that's bad. They still do it. People know heroin's bad. People are still doing heroin. So, hoping that if you scream and yell enough about how bad something is, like 5G, and, it's not going to keep the fucking people from using cell phones. It's not going to keep people from lining up around the block to want the technology. And, I like I said, ever since I got a phone, I felt like a hypocrite, but, what are you going to do? That's the thing. All these fucking people that are yelling about 5G now and how bad it is and doing shows about it and saying it's going to be the end of humanity, I guarantee you they're not throwing away their fucking cell phones. And I guarantee you they're going to have one of those phones when they come out too. Because it's the usual hypocritical bullshit. Because people are too fucking scared to actually take a stand against this stuff. If you want to make a change, you have to fucking take a stand against something. And unfortunately, people are just too comfortable in their little worlds to do that. There isn't any reason, the same thing. There's no reason why every month we should be not reaching our fundraising goals. There's no reason why, I should be 24 hours away from losing everything every goddamn month. Yet I put up a video and it'll get almost 1,000 views in the first 2 days. Yet just a small, again, think about if everybody contributed something, this would never be a problem. But everybody wants somebody else to take care of things. Oh, well, I'll just let everybody else donate it. I won't, contribute anything. That's the same problem. We can sit up here and bitch and piss and moan all day long. And I guess I'm just sick to death of the whole victim mentality bullshit. I'm just sick to death of that 100%. I'm sick of fucking everybody blaming everything on everything else, and everybody's been complicit in everything. We want to sit around and blame. I just get sick of everybody sitting around and blaming this person, that person, or, this group, or the Illuminati, or the Freemasons, or everything else. If you don't want to be manipulated by television and movies and media and the rest of that stuff, then fucking turn it off and never watch it again. I wish I could do that, but unfortunately I have to keep up with all this stuff just by virtue of what I do. People bitch and piss them on, oh, fucking taxes, fucking all this, that, and the other, oh. Well, take a stand against it. Become an activist. Oh, no, I can't do that. I don't have time or energy or money to do that. Well, that's what they bank on. They bank on every fucking body having that. I took the biggest fucking leap of faith you could ever take when I started this and decided to dedicate my life to this work. And that's what I've done. Do you think I like working 60, 70 hours a week, every fucking week, without a vacation, without a paycheck at the end of the week, without knowing where my next meal is going to come from, without knowing if I'm going to be able to keep the lights on or keep a roof over my head? No. I fucking don't, man. It's fucking sucks. But until we have more people that are willing to take that plunge and stand up and say, you know what? The truth is more important than any of that stuff. Getting out the information and keeping these fucking asshats like Alex Jones and others from pretending to be telling the truth and having people buy into that, all of that's more important. But people's complacency and their own just, oh, well, fuck it, I'll let somebody else worry about that. That's what's allowing them to win, man. We can sit up here all day long and talk about what these people are doing, that and the other. But my God, much of this stuff we do to ourselves by willful ignorance and willful compliance. That's the main thing. I mean, I get stuff from people all the time about how much they hate Alex Jones, yet they still listen to his fucking show. I mean, you're kidding me. Yeah, more stuff's come out about him now. Apparently, he's getting caught up in the whole fucking shit that's going on now. Exclusive fired InfoWars staffers at war with Alex Jones. One claiming that he was teased as the site's resident Jew, while an African-American worker says she was mocked for her skin tone and Jones grabbed her from behind. Again, this is the same shit I've been talking about. All of this stuff is a part of the charade, folks. Don't buy into it. And many of you are. Somebody else asked again last night on the comments, Josh, was David Hogg really a crisis actor in Florida? And I'll tell you exactly what I told them. How the fuck should I know? Nobody knows for sure. And anybody that says they know for sure is a fucking liar, and they're full of shit. It's all opinion and speculation. You want me to give you my opinion and my speculation? Fuck yeah, he was an actor. And so is Alex Jones. See, that's the fucking problem. You got all these people go around talking about, oh, this person's a crisis actor, this person's an actor. And then you see this, I want to debate him, and him and Alex Jones are going at it. And then you get people who think that Alex Jones is the real person in this equation, and that the crisis actor guy is the problem and the fake. No, man, you're letting them fucking get one over on you again. They're both liars. They're both actors. They are there to divide and conquer. They're there to keep you from finding the truth. My God, Jones's own attorney in this fucking divorce child custody case put forward the defense, which your attorney cannot put forward a defense unless you okay it. And Jones tried to fucking go back and say, I don't know how he said that. His own attorney said in court, under oath, that Alex Jones is an actor, and everything he does is performance art. I said 6 or 7 years ago, folks, even long before Jones was even as big as he is now, I said they'll allow him to have a phony rise, and then just like the phony rise, they will have a controlled takedown. I said that years ago, and that's what we're seeing. And this current stuff is no question about that. So, and some stuff is coming from this guy Rob Jacobson, dude. Everybody in Truth Movement circles has known this fucking Rob Jacobson guy is a CIA plant for years. That's been going around. Everybody's been talking about that for years. I've seen weird, creepy stuff out of that guy for years, and now all of a sudden he was Jones' right-hand man for years. Now all of a sudden he's going against Jones and saying that Jones called him a Jew. And why didn't this happen before? Why is this all happening now? Because this is part of the controlled takedown, and that's why they want to associate Jones, and they put him out there as the figurehead. This is designed to associate. I've told you, man. I saw this coming in 2007. I saw this coming when I first got on air. That's why I have for years. There are many shows throughout my career you can go back and listen to where I've gone on air multiple times and said, I disassociate myself. I am not associated with the whole truth movement, with Alex Jones, any of that. I am an independent, sovereign individual who wants the truth. I am not left-wing, right-wing. I am not a part of any of these groups, movements, or anything else, because they are all designed to have a figurehead that they can discredit, that will then, guilt by association, attempt to discredit and take down other people. This is an attack on truth, and that's what Jones's whole thing has been, to put himself out there and appear as a truth teller. Meanwhile, Just as you had the controlled rise, you will have the controlled takedown, and that's what's going on. It's smoke and mirrors, folks. This whole newest thing, this discrimination against his staff and all of this is a part of the staged theater. Where they get you is where they make you believe and have this separation in your mind where this stuff over here is fake news and this stuff over here is staged theater and everything in the mainstream media. But anything over here with Alex Jones, now this is all real. If you're still buying into that perception and you haven't woken up to that, you're fucking dead already, I hate to tell you. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has discriminated against his staff, laughed along with racist and anti-Semitic slurs against former employees, and even groped one female worker. The controversial InfoWars. Yeah, but I mean, the stuff came out. How come they didn't focus on the stuff that came out during his fucking divorce and custody trial? There was stuff that came out about, remember that? We covered it here on the show. The stuff about him supposedly, like, doing stuff, gay stuff with Charlie Sheen and these fucking prostitutes and all this crap. The controversial InfoWars owner joked with staff who called Rob Jacobson the Jewish individual, the resident Jew, and shouted Jacobson across the office. It's claimed Jones allegedly continually bullied, ridiculed, and humiliated Jacobson, who worked for Jones' company InfoWars for 13 years before firing him last May. Jacobson is in the process of suing Jones for discrimination, harassment, and unfair dismissal, and his lawyers have submitted a complaint to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Yeah, all this stuff. And what is it? It even says here, what is Rob Jacobson going on to do now? He's going on to be a fiction writer in Hollywood. So all the claims about him being a CIA plant from the get-go, I mean, well, come on. He goes from Jones to go being a fiction writer and a Hollywood fiction writer? Yeah. This is all a part of the smoke and mirrors, folks. This is all a part of the charade. And if you're buying into it and you're thinking this is real and you're buying into this is an attack on liberty, this is why they're coming, this is George Soros is getting people to claim I sexually harassed them and called somebody a Jew. I'm sure, I mean, I don't listen to the show, but I'm sure that's what he's doing. I'm sure he's saying, oh, this is George Soros and blah, 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 blah. And a lot of you are drinking the fucking Kool-Aid and going right along with it and believing it. And why you're going along with it, believing it, and listening to his ass and still tuning into my show, I don't fucking know. But that's exactly what's going on here. And that's why they're why do you think it's all happening at once? Come on. Do you think this shit with his YouTube channel and the crisis actor thing and him wanting to debate the crisis actor, and then all of a sudden the lawsuit, sexual harassment and racism stuff, it's all coming up in the same week, is all fucking coincidence? Or all a part of their grand master plan to defame Jones? No. This is all a part of the smoke and mirrors, and this is about the larger attack on truth and about associating people, even people like myself who have exposed Jones for years and have no association with these asshats. This is about an attack on the truth. Jones has been a part of that operation. He's admitted many times he has family in the CIA. I've documented his stuff with the Council for National Policy in my films, The Secret Right, Volume 1 and Volume 2, and in the Spellcasters 1.5. I mean, continually for over 10 years, I've done nothing. Even long before any of this stuff was reality, I was telling you it was coming. And that he was going to be their tool to bring about civil war. And that all those years of him talking about FEMA camps, he was going to be the motherfucker that was the genesis point for people being put in those fucking camps he's talked about for all years. And I stand behind that, and that's what's going on. And if you can't see it, again, you're a part of the problem. You're not a part of the solution. Nobody, this is a fact, nobody has been exposing that motherfucker longer than I have, and nobody has consistently stayed on exposing him and done more to do so. And there's no fucking reason why we should be sitting here not able to cover our operating costs. That motherfucker makes millions, has made hundreds of millions of dollars. Selling junk products, fear-mongering. Yeah, he needs to go down. There's no question about it. But the problem with it is that his going down is going to be just like his rise up. 100% completely controlled and 100% used to further the psychological manipulation and the psychological operations that they have been using and attempting to use against people, really people who it's not their fault. They just want the truth. They think Jones has it. You go looking for the truth, you find him. I was guilty of it, but within, 2 years, at least I woke up to what was going on with him. But that's why he's there. That's why they pumped him up to be the biggest name, because he's the trap laid for people to get wrapped up in. Never suspecting that he's a part of the entire thing they think that they're against. Wake up, people. I got to have $800 in here by 5 o'clock on Friday. I need 8 people to donate $100, or I need one person to donate $800, or whatever, but we got to have it. TheGlobalReality.com is my website. You can subscribe to our archives there. You can use the donate button. If you don't want to use PayPal to make a contribution, you can use the donate button in my website, and that'll allow you to use a credit card, debit card, or a Visa, MasterCard prepaid card that you can go buy. If you don't have a bank account, you can go buy one of those at a pharmacy or whatever, put any amount you want on it. You can send me the numbers, or you can, use the donate button there. You can also use the campaign page that you'll find here in the video, in the comment section, and in the Read More section, and on our Facebook pages as well, the Global Reality Radio Network Facebook page, and the Josh Reeves Filmmaker Talk Show Host Explorer page. This is not a drill. This is red alert. We absolutely have to have the minimum amount of that, $800, by tomorrow, folks, or it's all over. Act now. We'll see you next time.